Now in this session, this is our actually the fourth session on this game and fifth overall session that we are discussing now on AR. And in this session, actually now I want you to learn about how to adjust the screen, that is the positions, and the second thing is how to trigger your game. So we are going to use trigger is the event that the user performs. We call this as events. So when the user, even turning the head is an event. So whenever a particular event happens, you have to do this. So we call it as event listeners or events, and here I have to define an event to start the game. How should the game start? So one thing is either by tapping the phone, or when the best way is to when he presses the record button of his camera. So how to apply this logic, we are going to have a look at it today. Okay, now coming back to our Metaspark Studio, I will come here, click open, and this time I am going to open my version 2. I will select the version 2 file and I am going to open it. So once I click on open, this file is going to open. So we had applied the logic and this part is over, and again I use the same procedure. I will again go to file, choose save as, and this time I am going to name this as version 3. Okay, I will save it as version 3 and click save. So the thing is, this is called what we call as version control. Now here the first thing is I will select the film quiz and coming here to the component here. As I showed you, I will make this simulator a little bigger. As I showed you, when I click the start button, what is happening? The two address and means the answers are very close to each other. I have to set that. So to set this, I will switch it off, and now if you roll down, you have some parameters here. I will make this a little bigger for you to see it. See, for example, you have game scale, scoreboard and question, Y position, answer distance, validation scale. So you have various parameters. Now scale, game scale is the overall scale of your game. So it is 1.6. Say for example, I make it 1. See, it became small. Can you see? And if I make it 2, it becomes too big. See, you can see it is going out of the screen now. Sorry, I have made it 21. Sorry, I will make it 2. I will type 2. See, this has become little bigger. So like this you can adjust the scale. I will keep the scale at 1.6 because some answers may get cut off. And then for the answers, so when I click the start button and see the answers, see now what's happening is to avoid that overlapping, you have answer distance. I will change this answer distance to 0.02. You can see the two answers are moving. I will make it 0.03. Okay, this appears to be fine. So I have adjusted the scale. So based on your convenience, you can set this parameter. So you have so many parameters here, you can just play around it. So I have now set the position right. Now the next part we are going to discuss is how to add the trigger. So let us see how we can add the trigger here. So here for this purpose, now again I am going to select the film quiz. Let us come to the start and I will switch off start here. I will off this, and now like I think you might have got the idea now. How can I control this start in the patch editor? So similar to how we control the frames using in this animation sequence. That is, if I just come to this start here in the film quiz in start, and you have this arrow here, if I click on that, see automatically you have this film quiz added over here as a block, and this can be now controlled dynamically. So to control this dynamically, now the first option I am going to use is, so when the user taps on the screen, I want the game to start. So for this, we are now going to add some patches, that is some blocks manually. So for this, in the patch editor at the bottom, you have a button called add patch. So when I click on add patch, you have various patches available: animation, audio, body landmarks, device, face landmark. You have lot of ready-made logic codes away. Logic, if you want to apply logic, math, multiplier, shader, you have all these types. And now what I want is, it is related to device, and actually now what I want to use here is, I can directly type here. One is, I want when the user, I will type screen and you have various options, and I will select screen tap, and when I select screen tap and after I select this screen tap, I have add patch button here. So when I click on add patch, see that patch has been added here. You can see the screen tap patch is added. I will drag and keep it here. So now the screen tap is added. So whenever I tap the screen, now I should tell the logic what should happen. Now the logic is, the game should become on. So how do you switch on something? To switch on something, you need a switch. So the same logic goes here. Now I have to again come here to add patch, and now I will type switch, and you have switch, and I will click add patch, and immediately you will have a switch here. Now what I have to do is, when the user taps the screen, I want the turn on, the switch has to get turned on. See, as soon as the user taps the switch will turn on, and when the switch is on, this will start the game. This is the logic we have to apply now. So we have applied screen tap as an event, and for this we have added the switch. Now I have to tell computer, when they tap the switch, what should happen, whether the game should start or stop. So I have put it as switch, and I have given it, I have connected it to turn on, and as soon as I click it, it is going to start. So this is the logic, and let us test it. So to test this, what we have to do is, I will make this, and the simulator, if you come to the right hand side, you have one simulate touch option here. I will switch on this simulate touch, and now once this is on, see, I will just tap on the screen, and after about 1.5 seconds, you can see the game started. Okay. So now I turn like this, see, the game is running. See, so I gave a wrong answer, this is the right answer. So the game is now running, so I can just run the game. So this is wrong, this is Zoetrope. Okay, so I can just see the questions and I can answer it, and I am going to actually create this, and I have scored 8 points. So the game is running fine. Okay, so now I will reset the game so that it goes back to the original position. I will again go to file, and I will save this file. So I want this game where the user is not going to cheat. That is, the game should run as soon as he starts the camera recording, so that you can record what he is answering. So instead of triggering it with the screen tap, I want this to get triggered with record button. And for this, how to do this, let us have a look. Now instead of triggering this using the screen tap, I am going to come to my scene and select the camera, and I can drag this camera itself to the patch editor, and as soon as I drag the camera to the patch editor, if I zoom it, you can see you have so many options for camera. Camera active, back camera active, photo captured, video recording, position. So when you capture a photo, what should happen? When you rotate the camera, what should happen? When you switch on the back camera, what should happen? So I can switch on any of the option, but right now I am going to use the video recording option, and here I need not use the switch. I can now because video recording, so I can just drag this video recording and link it directly to Film Quiz. So automatically, as soon as you start the quiz, it is going to on. However, this part I cannot test it here because I cannot do the recording. I doesn't have the record button here. I can use the screen touch. So this you can test it only on your Instagram or Facebook filter. So now we have to export it, we have to take it in the Instagram and then we have to test it. So, for this I have to come here and I have to use the option test on device, or I have to publish it. So, right now what I am now going to do is, how will the user know that he has to start the recording? There should be some prompt. You have to tell the user to make this filter work, you have to start the recording. How are you going to add this prompt? So, now for this logic to work, since I cannot show this on the recording for testing purpose, now what I will do is, I will connect back this Film Quiz Start back to my switch. That is, right now it is going to switch on by tapping. Now, to add these conditions, what I am now going to do is, I am going to come to scene and select device, and in the device property you have one property here called as instruction. You have two types of instructions that you can give. One is the timed instruction and another is conditional instruction, and I am going to choose conditional instruction. When I click create, see, you have a tab called conditional instruction added over here. See, you have conditional instruction, okay. And for this conditional instruction, I have to now add what instruction it has to show. For that, I will click on the plus button here on the instruction, and here I have various instructions readily available here, and I am going to choose say now tap to play. See, click on tap to play. I will select this tap to play, and now I will click insert. So, now you can see in the option you have tap to play. I have selected it. So, I have added it, and the next thing is, when should this be visible? When the user has not tapped the phone. So, when he has not tapped the phone, this condition should be visible, and as soon as it taps it, this should not be visible. So, for this conditional instruction now, so now what I have to do is, I have to now reverse a condition, means when he is not tapped, this screen has to display. For this, I am going to come here and click on add patch, and I am going to type not patch. See, not, select this and click add point. So, I have a not patch, and I am going to connect this not patch to show, and I will connect this turn on to this, okay. So, now as soon as I connected this, you can see at the bottom tap to play is visual. So, visually you are seeing the prompt tap to play, and now what happens is, now as soon as I tap, see, the instruction went away and the game started, okay. So, this is working fine, and the same condition you can also use it for recording. So, now finally our game is ready. Now, I will go to file, choose save, and I am going to save the file, and now if I click on test on device, first I have to add an experience. I will click on add experience. I will click on add experience, and I will call this as the sharing effect. I will click insert. So, Instagram and Facebook is added, and I will click done, and now here I have this Instagram filter. So, once I have saved the file, I can come over here and click for Instagram send, and this is going to now send it to Spark Hub. So, now you will have a notification available on your phone, but right now I am going to use this test link. I am going to copy this link, and you can send it to any user who wants to try this. So, what I want you to do is, you copy this, then you go to your mail. So, I am going to go into my enter your Gmail, and you just type compose, and in compose you can just send it to me, satvik@gmail.com. You can send me the link, and I have to mention your roll number. Say for example, you are 031 VOA, so you mention your roll number, this link. So, you just write it, and then you just paste this link and send it to me so that I can test it. However, to permanently store it, now I am going to come to publish here, and you have one option here called as export. I am going to click on export, and now I will come into the Spark AR folder here, that is the Spark AR quiz folder, and I am going to save this AR export file, and I am going to click save. So, once this file is saved, this export file you can upload it and actually share it. Now, to see this, you have to install an application in your phone called Spark Player, and in the Spark Player you can open this filter and you can run it. So, with this we have successfully completed this project, and in the next session I want to show you how to share this, how to put it on GitHub, and how to submit the project. So, this part which I will be showing you to in the next session.